Yeah, kid. We ain't waiting for people to come in. I know how we do on Populous TV. Let's go. On a Monday, best day, blessed day. Ooh la la. Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Hop up out the bed like where's the bread? What it do, people? You're now tuned in. Popovich TV. Oh yeah, we live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up in here one more again. So if it's your first time, then the question is, where you been? Because over here on my side, we like to deal with sports, hip-hop, entertainment, interviews sometimes, when people don't be acting flaky, Popovisms 101, and of course, motivation. Got mine in today. So before you jump off the page and Usher to the left, Chris Brown to the right, I'm going to need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, so when I upload the videos, you get alerted. You get alerted when I upload the videos, and if it's not your first time, and you've been rocking with the channel, good looking, but you know how I do. You know how I plainly start the show. Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. What up, Greg? Want to check in? And we is in the end game, people. We in the end game because it's Monday. Monday motivation, motivational Mondays. I am your motivational speaker, whether you like it or not. Whether you ask for it or not, you're going to get it anyway. Best day, blessed day, because we're alive. We got life. You woke up this morning on the books. You have a chance to be great, do something great. And yesterday is yesterday. Who won't be waking up today, unfortunately, out there in Brooklyn, Kiora, Baby K, as they, referring to her, she was laid to rest today, right? And y'all know because of the work that I do, I was out there when they had the, the visual and the response to the fuck shit that it was of those two individuals, trying to do what they was doing. And then God had other plans. And then they end up getting bagged up and booked up. And, now they got a case for killing a 7-month-old baby. So again, rest in peace, to Baby K, again, as they're calling her, Kiora. Condolences, prayers, positivity, all those words, right? That to a lot of times it is just words, because ain't nobody can understand pain, like that mother. You know what I mean? That grandmother, the brother, the father, right? And on the Scarface and Hove song, This Can't Be Life, right? Fire song. All of them have fire verses. Beanie Siegel, Hove, and Scarface. And, although there was different aspects of This Can't Be Life and some bad stuff going on, I think Scarface had the best verse, or the more sobering verse. When they're like, and as I walked into the studio to do this with Jay, got a phone call from one of my niggas. Said my homeboy Reese, he just lost one of his kids. And when I heard that, I just broke into tears. Like, And you listen to that verse and how he's explaining, like, so I called my wife and saddened my wife with the bad news. Now we both depressed, counting our blessings, because Brad's too, like, your kids is alive. Somebody else's kids is gone. They just got taken off. And it never amazes me, because I know that as the world turns, which it might even still be a show on TV, but one of the stories, right? General Hospitals, All My Children, nigga telling his age, but y'all know how old I am on Pop If It's TV. I don't run from my age. I'm happy to be my age, and I hope I can continue to live. And when it is time for me to go, I hope I get a quick death and the easy one, right? But I know that the world still turns, and although some people was dealing with unimaginable, unbearable grief and suffering, some people was partying like it's motherfucking 1989, 1999. Rest in peace, Prince, right? Other people is living their best lives. Living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you niggas. I'm living my life. You living your best life. At the same exact time, simultaneously, somebody else is not living their best life. They're going through it. And, you know, I'm speaking about it for a lot of reasons. The main one being, obviously, it's a sad situation. I do cure violence work. That's why I brought up my job. You know, and some of the anti-violence work that we do. Again, we don't know if it was, you know, gang-related, gang, right? But maybe kind of, sort of, allegedly, it could be. And obviously they will say, hey, well, we are gang members, but we wasn't trying to go kill no baby girl. We was aiming for the father. We was aiming for the father. And we just can't aim right because we on the back of the moped living out our New Jack City, you know, scene from New Jack City movie. That's a reference where they was on the back of the bike with the Uzi shooting up the Italians, right? And you trying to hit a moving target while you're on the moving target, and you have no practice whatsoever when it comes to this type of thing. And so therefore you took, you know, precious life. So that's one reason that we're talking about it, because it's unfortunate. The multitude of other reasons is because this is the behavior that we need to stop, not just because it was a baby. And how often, you know, cocaine from, you know, his paid in full days is, you know, being, you know, Rico and all that, you know what I mean, about niggas die every day, B. Cannot get cool with babies dying every day, B. Young kids having, you know, big automatic poles and, you know, sticks and switches to handle small problems. We cannot never get used to that because, again, you're living your best life today. She's not. They family is burying, you know, their baby girl today. And for weeks, months, who knows, maybe even years, because it ain't no set time frame on when you can get over grieving. Life goes on, but, you know, as they always say, or as the saying goes, parents shouldn't have to bury their kids. It should be the other way around. And a lot of times, in the times that we're living in currently, it's the other way around. It's parents burying their kids because their kids is out here doing the most. And, you know, it's death not just by putting them in the casket and lowering them into the ground. It's also death to vacancy. Death to a vacant, empty cell with your name on it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we need to talk more with our kids, be in their lives, be present in their lives, not just give them the phone, not just set them in front of the TV, you know, not just buy them the LeBron James and, you know, the new KDs and Stephen Currys and all that. You need to be active and find out what they're doing. Be aggressive. Be forceful. Do it like you would do your face when you're beating it up and you're going out and you want to style on these bitches. That's how you should be aggressive with it. You should be doing it like the hours you spend on Amazon looking for the, you know, the most affordable, or you going through Temu and you know, you looking through all the various sites and you comparing the prices. Be vigilant, because if you're not, your kids will be out here doing the most, and that's you, right? You will think that they the best kid since sliced bread. And then when the news come in or the news flash across the screen, you'd be like, oh shit, that's Ringo. That's such and such. That's Neander. You know what I mean? Like, that's Kevin. You know what I mean? And you'll be stunned and shocked. And some of y'all not. We know that. We know that some of y'all know exactly what your kids are doing. You just turn a blind eye to it. And we don't want to do that. And the last thing I'll say about that before we get to this next topic, speaking of parents, etc., right? And you being a parent to your kids. Where's the story at? Let me find the story real quick. I got the story ready. But before we jump into that, Jail Ain't No Good, Walkathon, Marathon, next Saturday, April 18th, 11 a.m., 116th, Lenox Avenue. If you're from Harlem, you know where it's at. Basically, if you ain't doing nothing and you against prison, I mean, some people belong there. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it a bean. And let's call a spade a spade. It just is what it is. Some motherfuckers, they deserve to be locked up. They should be locked up. And I'm sure the parents, of the 7-year-old baby K, they will say, absolutely, motherfuckers that did this to my daughter, they deserve to get the electric chair. They don't even deserve jail. So we know that some people belong there, right? But this walk here is to bring awareness to prison and jail ain't no good. To stop your youngins, your little cousins and them, your little nieces and them. Because girls is going to prison at a rapid rate too. It's not just the young boys and males. It's a lot of females and young girls going to prison as well. And we want to cut that pipeline off from the school system to the prison system. We want to break that generational curse, especially if you've been there and you've done that, like myself, a few times, right? We want to come out, speak, truth to power, speak power to truth, or however they say it, and let these young people know, like, yo, that yakisobe, that chili con, and I don't care, you know what I mean? That turkey tangerzini and all that shit is the worst. Like J.I.O.K., that shit is the worst. And I don't want that for you because Hove did that. So hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that. But this is why you should stay in your kids' business. Stay in their phone, be in their room, going through their shit. No privacy. There's no privacy. The ones that get too much leadway, too much privacy, and as I used to tell, my small boy, right, who's doing well, and I'm proud of you, right? Proud of both of them. I would tell him, no matter where you go, there you are. So you can live in Brooklyn, you can live in the Bronx, Staten Island, Queens, Long Island, etc. We could ship you off to Arizona, Australia, Nyack Falls, Buffalo, Greece, Japan, Africa, Senegal, wherever you could think of, right? Maryland, wherever you could think of, right? Switzerland. You're still going to be that same person. And we know the good book says that, he will not change the condition of the people till they first change the condition within themselves. So no matter where you go, there you are. So basically what that means for the people in the back, and as I used to try to explain to him, I'm like, well, if you are an unmotivated person, you could be that in Brooklyn, but if we ship you off somewhere else, you're still going to be unmotivated. If you're a lackey, if you're not a go-getter, if you're not an action-first type of person, no matter where you go on this earth, you're still going to be that same person until you change the internal stuff within. Then you can be motivated. Then you can start to see plans. And that's why Hope said, put me anywhere in God's green earth. I triple my worth, motherfucker. Like, I will not lose. Till you have that mentality of I will not lose, and I'm going to get the best out of me, be the best version of myself, right? No matter what's going on, no lack of ambition, but the ambition is overflowing, then you could be put anywhere on God's green earth, and you're going to come out in your own way, because your own way will be your way of being, which is being motivated, being highly active and doing stuff. But we in the end game, because of this parent right here. I think it's like a 5-minute video. I will not be playing the long version. I just want this Monday motivation. Motivational Monday. I am your motivational speaker, whether you like it or not. And here goes some motivation for your ass. Parents, this is for you. Parents, especially the bad ones, right?
At this. He's stressed, and I am too. Like, I told him I probably will start crying. Like, my son is, I don't know what to do for him.
This coming June is when Tiffany France thought her son would receive his diploma.
And I'm just trying to fight. He like, Mom, what was all this for? What did I do this for? Like, don't he get a chance? Do he get a chance?
But after 4 years of high school, this mom just learned her 17-year-old has to start over. He's been moved back to 9th grade.
Why would he do 3 more years in school? He didn't fail. The school failed him. The school failed at their job. They failed. They failed. That's the problem here. They failed.
How?
They failed. He didn't deserve that.
How did they fail?
France's son attends Augusta Fells Savage Institute of Visual Arts in West Baltimore. His transcripts show in 4 years he has passed just 3 classes, earning 2.5 credits, which places him in 9th grade. But France says she didn't know that until February. She has 3 children and works 3 jobs. She thought her oldest son was doing well because even though he failed most of his classes, he was being promoted. His transcripts show he failed Spanish 1 and Algebra 1, but was promoted to Spanish 2 and Algebra 2. He also failed English 2, but was passed on to English 3.
I'm just assuming that if you are passing, that you have the proper things, to go to the next grade. And, the right grades, you have the right credits.
As we dig deeper into her son's records, we can see in his first 3 years at Augusta Fells, he failed 22 classes and was late or absent 272 times. But in those 3 years...
I'm going to stop it right there. Like I told you, the story is a little long. Mother says she got 3 kids and worked 3 jobs, right? Coming out of the Maryland, Baltimore area. And no shade to them, but we're going to call a spade, and it just is what it is. We know what come out of Maryland over there. We see who the mayor is, the governor. It's one of the Democratic ran cities, and it's shit. Keep it a buck, right? I've been out there a few times. Baltimore, Maryland, that whole area, right? The D.C. area, DMV. And I laughed and all that when they're like, she got 3 kids and she worked 3 jobs. I not laughing at the hustle and the grind, because we know in today's economy, ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody and even women now. Before, obviously, men, we know that off the rip, off the cuff, straight out the gate. Like, you know what I mean? Straight out the gate, we know that ain't nobody coming to save us. Women know that too, but there is chances, and we see it all the time, because anything goes when it comes to hoes, because simping ain't easy. Nah, simping ain't easy. Like, niggas is simping, right? And the beta and all that, the manosphere shit, which I agree with some and I don't agree with a lot. But, the dancehall and distress and all that, somebody will come save you. You look good enough, you fit feminine and friendly, right? The 3 Fs, you got a nice demeanor to you. You could be worked with, you cooperate, shit like that. A man to deal with you, man. If he's in a better financial situation than you, he will provide and give you his resources, right? Man, we don't get that. No matter how masculine we are, no matter how sturdy we are and all that, you expected to get it out the mud, blood. Like, you expected to get it out the mud. Ain't no woman coming to say, you got good potential, ooh, especially in today's time. But I just say that to say, even in today's time now, women, ain't nobody coming to save y'all either, because the narrative is out there, whether you fit it or not, strong, independent, overly aggressive, and just the negativity that comes along with, some of the shit that be out there on the internet. It's on the internet and it's in the real life. See it all the time, you know what I'm saying? I just 52 block it. Wax on, wax off, keep it pushing. But anyway, I respect the hustle. But now, the school is partially responsible. Maybe they was sending letters, maybe they wasn't. She's saying it's the first time she heard about it. But I stopped the story right where it was at because I cut school. I failed school. I didn't take school serious. I played around. I played the fool, not sometimes, damn near all the time, right? And so I know what it's like to lose, to feel so desperately that I was right, yet to fail. And I failed, I did, right? I know what it's like to cut, never go to school, you know, go to Brooklyn, be on the train, smoking weed, listening to Dr. Dre, the Chronic album, you know, hanging with the compadres and, you know, the other young niggas that was cutting school like me and going to get high. Just to get by, just to get by, just to get by. He's 17. We was 14, 15, 16, and I went to prison at 16, as y'all know if y'all rock with the channel and you've been following the channel, my first bid, right? We cut school all the time. And so when you're not present, you're absent. When you're absent, you don't get the work that's present. You don't learn. You're not being homeschooled, so you just, you know, picking up street knowledge. You know what I mean? And allow me to demonstrate the strength of street knowledge. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what you soaking up. You're not soaking up knowledge academically, right? And that's for another topic, you know, street knowledge, academic knowledge, etc. Which one you can get further in life, you know what I'm saying? But just to be totally oblivious that he's not showing up to school, no truant officers coming by, no letters is coming in. If you sending him to get the mail, I know plenty of kids, I was one of them. You go get the mail, take your report card out, leave everything else, take that school letter out, even take, you know, when the teachers is like, yo, you got to get your parents to sign a permission slip so you could go on the trip. Take that joint, get your man or one of your little girlfriends, you know what I mean, your little girl that was a friend, not your girlfriend, that got better handwriting than, yo, sign my mom's name. We did this shit all the time. So it's easy to pull the wool over you to where you're working 3 jobs. You ain't mention the father. You ain't mention your husband. Who's helping you raise your 3 kids? And he's 17. You probably giving him responsibility. And, you know, they just little people. Their ages is young, but they're just little people. And they're going to find ways to get over on you if you play that cool card too much with them. And you're not on them firm. Let me see what you're doing. And unfortunately, a lot of adults is not that smart academically either. Oh, but you're black, right? Because you come home and your kids got a certain type of algebra or math or, you know, whatever it is, trigonometry and all that, and you sitting there looking at the calculus like, how many, I ain't been to school. You know, you graduated, right? You did that little college course. Shit ain't turned out to be nothing because you a nail tech. You know what I mean? You doing Amazon, you trying to get by just like everybody else. And I'm being funny, but I'm not. And that's not for everybody. So don't feel triggered or get all in your feelings. If you do, drop some shit in the comments. You don't know how to do the homework. You coming home looking at it like, damn, why you ain't do this shit in school? They ain't show you how to do this, Anthony? Johnny, you don't know how to do this? Olivia, why you bringing this shit home to me? Because you smoking. You watching Love and Hip Hop. You watching all the fuckery and the bullshit. So you ain't got time either. And a lot of us is fried. And so naturally, your kid's going to be fried. And that's why Slick Rick said, and if you smoke crack, your kids will smoke crack tomorrow. So be more mature and kids, do your chores. Make your own money. Hey, be proud. That's yours. Be proud that you made your own money. And you ain't got to put your hand out. Because being broke is childish and I'm quite grown, right? It's a whole reference. Anyway, let's talk about some other fuckery stuff that's going on. Let's talk about Jaden. Let's talk about Jaden Ivory, right? Because in the mix of it going on, I seen it spinning in the clip, as I like to say. And you know, I was going to get to it. It's not that I didn't want to talk about it. It's not that I didn't want to talk about it at all. But I've noticed this. I seen this on Bro page, and I thought it was accurate. Let me see if I still got it.
Almost 2 weeks, not one word from none of the black leaders. about Jaden Ivey going up against NBA, LBGTQ community, not a word. Not a word from Dr. Umar, my son, D.L. Hewley, Al Sharpton.
What?
Jamal Bryant.
What?
Roland Martin.
What?
Black Lives
What?
Matter. I wonder why.
I wonder why too.
I wonder why. I wonder why. It's not one word. That mafia, huh? That mafia. Y'all know not to play with that mafia. Y'all play with everybody else. But now that man ran into this issue against the mafia, everybody crickets. We know who on the payroll.
Got the ghetto gospel.
Shout out to my man, right? Harlem Stand Up. I seen the story spinning. I seen some of the clips where he was in the cab or wherever he was, you know, talking about Christianity, etc. And you know, we do all the stuff for Pride Month and all that. And speaking of pride, right? I got pride. I'm a black man, right? Speaking, I done been through the storm. I'm happy to be where I'm at now. That's pride in that, right? But the Stonewall, the flags and all that, they was able to put them back up. You know, Trump wanted that shit down at the Stonewall Park and all that, right? And to each his own. Listen, man, we all got one life, and it don't matter if you famous or what your claim to fame is. One day you're going to be nameless, and you're gonna have to answer for what you did on this earth. You can argue with whoever you want to argue. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. But I did wanted to speak about it, and it slipped my mind when I seen that page. I said, damn, 2 weeks already passed? And what I noticed is, for the people that did speak out, it wasn't in his favor. It wasn't in his favor. It was, I hope that brother get the help he need. I hope that brother get the help he deserves. I hope that brother fix the issues that he's dealing with. And I sit back, I say, damn, so he got issues now because he's not agreeing with something, he's condoning something. I didn't know that was a mental health issue. And I think of when Kyrie, you know what I mean? When Kyrie had the issue with the small hats and all that, and then they got him up out of Brooklyn, took a shoe deal, then he had to do his own sneakers and all that. And he came out on his feet. And I think of Kanye West, the multiple rants that he had a plethora of rants, right? Like over the top, some shit, you know, you'd be like, you don't want to stand like, you know what I mean? Like, I make it hot, niggas won't even stand next to you. Plus, I got more clocks than texting you on some big shit, right? Rest in peace, Big, and shout out to Method Man on that song, The What If. I got more clocks than texting you. I make it hot. Niggas won't even stand next to you. Niggas ain't want to stand next to Kanye. And you see even LeBron James come out, say shit. Then you see him in the Senegal or wherever he was at. Looked like he flew to Israel, you know what I mean? Had him doing this shit on the wall and all that. And it's like, damn, you ain't go to no black, you know, Senegals, or you ain't go here but you're black. You ain't go to none of these places and disseminate the information. Like, look what I found. This is new information. But you went there. And again, we know who behind the scenes. We know who that Wizard of Oz is behind the motherfucking curtain. We know who it is. I know who it is, right? And so when these people come out and they say, yo, he needs help. He got issues. Bro messed his bag up. We know all, like, you know, people in the comments were saying this. But the Roland Martins, as you know, the brother said, you know, the Mysons and all these other, when it ain't attached to race and it ain't race baiting, when it ain't no political gain, no clout to be caught or chased, you know what I mean? Then it's like, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. That's why you ain't hear nobody saying nothing about that 7-month-old baby girl out in Brooklyn. Because the 2 suspects was caught. That's what they're going to tell you. Like, well, what the fuck we going to say? You know, you do the crime, you get caught, you do the time. It's black on black, but it's white on white. It's Asian on Asian. That's what they're going to paint. And they ain't full of shit. Keep it honest with you. I know I ain't going to hold my tongue. I'm not going to hold no punches either. I'm going to knock your block off. That's bullshit. It is what it is. It's word semantics for those people that play these games. And they love to play in your face. They love to play in your face. But I said, damn, he got mental health issues and he needs help, and they kicked him out the whole league because he don't condone man on man, woman on woman. He don't condone it. He ain't say nothing outrageous. He just said he don't rock with it, and we big up this, but it's a lot of other things we can big up. And people say, oh, so I've never seen so many straight people worried about, with the LGBTQ and the 5 and the L train and all that shit be doing. It's like, well, why are you worried about us? And why are you pushing that agenda? And why is that agenda hanging over motherfuckers like a black cloud? That's why we got to talk about it. And when you look from, and I only noticed because they just were showing on the news, News 1, with the Stonewall and all. I guess the person that did the flag was in 79 or 76 or something like that. And from then to now, drastic difference, drastic change, difference, climate, world that we living in. And I don't condone it. I don't mean I'm go around and wishing death to mom, and wishing ill in prison and and all that type of stuff, because that's not for me to do. I could condone it though. I have the right to condone it, but also because you got free speech, consequences come with that. This is America. Don't get you slipping up. Police be tripping up. Police be tripping up. Politicians be tripping up. The government be tripping up. They got you so caught up in the trick bag, you think that they different. And that's you, buffoon. I'm here like Fulio, come with the buffoonery, and it remains at an all-time high. They got you fooled. They don't got me fooled. I know what it is, right? And I thought it was interesting, but not really. When you put the beat on, I'm not shocked and amazed. On the contrary, I expect this. This is what they're going to do. They're going to isolate. They know once once the narrative is put out there about you being not in your right mind, etc., that you got mental health issues. And I think we all may go through some form of mental, to appreciate life. And this may sound a little off, but it is a battle. It is a struggle. Not on a depression side though for me. Not on a manic depressing and mental health issue, but you have to fight for your right to be happy. You have to choose to be happy. You have to choose to, not dwell on the glass or the jar or whatever being half empty, because it could push you over the edge. It could make you start to see things more in a negative and as a pessimist, as opposed to an optimist in the positive side, right? But notice they do that to Kanye again. He was off his meds. They try to push that, the ignorance on Kyrie. And then this fool, Charles Barkley, was in, man, this fool don't know what he's talking about. And, anytime it's a word towards the right against the establishment, you don't know what you're talking about. You a fool. You got your GED. You ain't complete. You ain't complete college, or they try to paint you as a felon and this and that. You got felonies. You robbed people before. You sold drugs before. They're gonna bring up all this shit that has no relevancy to what you're talking about. The argument, they push the goalposts. They make these straw man arguments. All the while gaslighting you and still not addressing said issues. And I find it interesting. We'll see what happens and becomes of him. I hope he get back in the league. Ain't like he's a scrub. Definitely is nice. May not be S.A. or Kate Cunningham and all that, but still nice. He been winning and a good player, above average, since his younger days, even making it to the NBA. And if you make it to the NBA, you did better than a lot of other people, because there's only but so many people in the NBA. 700 or 6,000, 4,000 or something like that. Come on, it's not even a lot. So for you to be one of the chosen ones, you did something right. That means you have a skill that other people don't have. And to just be thrown out like that, lose your endorsements if he had any, nobody gonna speak up about it. And we know why, as the brother said in his video. Well, you know why. I wonder why. He's the greatest. He's the greatest dancer of all. You wonder why. No, we know why. Well, you know why. We're not supposed to mention anybody in our profession anyway. Purple tape. Knock niggas out the box all the time. Come on, the skits on this is just timeless. Well, you know why. You know why, niggas. You know why they ain't coming to the rescue. why they ain't speaking up for him. We know why. Let's speak on this shit, because this is dealing with mental health, right? Let's speak about Anthony Griffin, aka Fox 5. Rest in peace. Condolences to his family, his loved ones, right? What was it, the 8th or the 11th? I think the 11th, right? Today is the 11th or the 10th. Apparently having some mental issues, mental breakdowns that we were just speaking, and some of it could be to your own doing. Some of it could be outside forces and, dark forces and trying to trap you in. And if you ain't got no spirituality, no spiritual armor, you easily could get swooped up, you know what I'm saying? And then, come outside of that other door, not in your right mind, doing something crazy and calling yourself Lucifer, maybe allegedly, kind of, sort of, right? That's what the police were saying as they told him 20 times or over 20 times to drop the knife, drop the machete. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, right there in Grand Central Station, man, downtown, we're at Pack Station, the brother Fox 5, real name Anthony Griffin, again, rest in peace, has slashed like 3 people on the train or on the platform or whatever, you know what I mean? Elderly people at that, you know what I mean? And when the cops arrived or whatever, when they had their interaction with him, allegedly they, told him to, drop the weapon over 20 times. And as he was coming towards them, we always come towards them, right? And I've seen video where this is true. So this ain't just cat. It's unfortunate. But I said, damn, man. Definitely not no police officer. And fuck hip hop. Should have been a cop. Fuck hip hop. With that freestyle, you're bound to get shot. Not from Houston, but I rap a lot. Pack the gat a lot. Flames about to drop like, here come the brand new. I say that to say, I'm not a cop, obviously, right? Even though we de-escalate, we mediate on the job to the best of our ability. We don't got no weapons. We ain't got no mace, no taser. We ain't got no bulletproof vest or none of that. So I'll be damned if I jump in front of somebody, a stranger, man or woman, wielding a knife, glass bottle or something that can, hurt me, injure me. I'm trying to make it back home to my family. So I get that thinking. However, I know how to fight, right? I know how to block a little punch, counter jab, right? Block and hit with the same hand. And also taking self-defense, right? Now, in my later years, how to take a knife away, how to block a knife and break somebody on. Before it was just a little street fight, the jab, you learn how to throw knuckles, you get beat up, you beat people up, and that's how you learn. Obviously, I'm not no Floyd Money Mayweather in the money team, right? Shout out to OG Shabazz, though, that just got the award out there in DC. Shout out to OG Shabazz. I rock with him, right? Purchases his ebook and all that, right? Oh, but you're black. I support people that's black and doing good things and speaking peace and positivity forward. I recommend you do the same. But anyway, that was just street fighting. And I got beat up and I beat people up. And it is what it is. But in the later years now, right? Now we learn how to do other things and all that. Some wax on, wax off. I break your whole wrist and your elbow, right? And I only say that to say, even though I'm being funny, but I'm not, because we live, we rolling, we unscripted, and we authentic, right? You got the taser, you got the vest on, you got enough distance. Y'all not learning self-defense? I know some older brothers older than me that could handle him. Same thing with Sealy, right? The Michael Jackson impersonator on the train. Military dude, right? Sneaking from behind. You ain't approaching man to man. You a coward. Said that before, I say it again. You're not no hero in my book. You a coward, right? But you was in the military. You go through police academy, not the movies, which was mad funny, right? Not the, the comedic, Police Academy movies, which was wild funny, right? Don't move, dirtbag! Don't move, right? You supposed to be trained. So you telling me, especially if it's more than one of y'all, you got the blicky up, you got the the taser up. You saying you couldn't sideswept, take that man, pop him, put him on the floor, even though he did that to the people when he shouldn't have. But if he's mentally not in the right mind, if he's deranged, if he went off the deep end, you know what I mean? You couldn't disarm him? You couldn't pop him in the leg? And this is what we be saying, right? And that's why when I seen the comments, this is a side note, but this is my show, of the cop who killed the or shot the person that stole the car or whatever, and people in the comments was like, yeah, he did the right thing. And I'm saying, damn, we can't have a stance and stick to it. We so fucking wishy-washy, like no backbone, like jellyfish turns the leg to jelly. Like, you know what it's like to lose, right? No stance, no firm stances. Which one is it? The cops should do all they could do to preserve life, or should they just full force and shoot and kill? Because I'm saying, even though I'm still in the beginning stages, I could get that knife out of his hand. Get that knife out of his hand. Might get my hand cut a little bit, but I could get it out, right? And you got the baton, the taser, the mace, the vest. The last thing is the blicky. You couldn't disarm him, shooting the train where people is at, because that's all it takes is for you to, even though they trained to shoot, that's what they can do, right? They train to shoot. Hit an innocent bystander. Now we got to pay our tax monies to, somebody that was hit unlawfully, or, just trying to go to work, just coming home from work, just trying to get their kids to school, etc. You know what I mean? They get shot in the shoulder, take one in the shoulder blade, right? I think they could have disarmed them. And in a lot of instances where we see on video, because, you can watch it anywhere. The internet is all day, every day. Like, you can see it in broad day anytime you want, right? We've seen too many videos where it's mad officers standing around and the dude coming with the knife. I think it was one video, he walked mad times and he was trying to come to them. Bro, if you don't side swipe this drunk dude or push him to the ground and kick, kick the knife out of his hand, break his wrist, break his elbow, you know what I'm saying? Get him in the headlock, put him to sleep. Come on. We saying we can't do that. It's disheartening. Rest in peace to the brother. And the thing is too, because, I hope they remember you, right? Thanos line from Marvel, right? I hope they remember you. I'm being funny, but I'm not. People didn't even know who he was. And now I didn't know who he was. I know who he is now. And after the transition of him passing and being gunned down. But, somebody on News One as well, I think they was doing a docket series on him about, his life and, things of that nature. And they were saying the person they knew didn't have no mental health issues. So we wonder what transpired between then and now, to where he wielding a machete inside of Grand Central Station and slashing, elderly people. I don't think he deserved to die, even though he did stuff like that, which is foul. And now it's death by police. But, meaning like you want to die. So you go outside and you get them to kill you. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to do it yourself. So you go outside and, you wield a fake gun or, a knife, or you do something crazy and you charge them so they can kill you. It's unfortunate. Super unfortunate. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Lotto, a.k.a. She's shaking it up. This is what y'all care about anyway. Shaking her little fat ass, and I mean that literally now, right? She's big as a house. Alright? So she was shaking her little funky ass right on stage. She big as a house, pregnant as all can be, right? And that's the only reason why I want to talk. I'm being funny when I say shaking a little funky ass, right? But I'm not. But I'm not. In this sense, right? She is an entertainer. So the same thing with Erykah Badu. When she was 51, I think she's older than that now. I don't know how old she is or whatever. She might even be like 53. But anyway, when she was on stage shaking her little funky ass, right? Well, her daughter brought her daughter out so she could shake her little young, fresh ass, right? And a lot of people had issue with it. I really didn't have issue with it because it's Erykah Badu. And I don't have issue with Lotto doing it. Only from this standpoint, right? Only from this standpoint, because it's two topics in one in this particular topic, right? One, you have Lotto, who's an entertainer. We already covered her being a proud baby mama now, right? By, allegedly, maybe kind of, sort of, whatever his name is, right? And cool. So she's an entertainer. She's pregnant, but you still could work, because women, they get a certain amount of time till they take their maternity leave. You see women in the gym still working out. In fact, the doctors and your physician and all that to tell you, like working out, doing squats, doing certain type of exercise, still having sex. All this is good for the pregnancy and good for the baby, right? So this is knowledge that we know. So although her work is not conventional, she's not sitting at a desk, she's not going to work or doing certain things, it still work because she's a entertainer, she's a rapper. I don't have the video of the second part of this topic of the pregnant girls that Cardi B is doing the juice, what's the word? Happy Monday. Monday motivation, motivational Monday. I am your motivational speaker, whether you like it or not, right? She doing a contest on her tour with women that's pregnant that's coming to see her perform. She's doing her job. The pregnant women, it's not their job. So I don't got the video, but one of the ones who won, she going crazy on stage, like, come on, baby, like she's shaking her whole ass, right? Belly big and all that. So this is the distinction. One, Lotto was an entertainer. So we could say it's a little low class, yes. Pregnant, you got your stomach out, you got your ass cheeks hanging out, right? No matter if your body count is low or not, you're still looking like an L Goofyton, right? To a lot of people. And I would agree. But the little shade that I'll give her or grace that I'll give her, and I'm not a fan, I don't listen to her music, you know what I mean? Like, damn, shorty could get it, but I ain't listening to her music. It's like, nah, she's an entertainer. Same thing with Erykah Badu. That's why I brought up Erykah Badu first. At 51, she's showing her ass. Maybe she a little thirst trapping, right? It's not like a what's the chick named Ross, Alice Ross, showing that she still got it, even though she's an entertainer too. She's just an actor. So posting thirst traps, but actually being on stage and rapping and singing and performing is different. So we give you a little shade because it ain't no age limit on you being performing or being a performer. Because we have some rappers, right? And this goes back to if you 40, you 45. We just seen Jada, Joe, and the Locks and all of them have that little debate on if you just freshly coming out as a 50-year-old man or 40-year-old man, can you be a rapper? And they all had their various different opinions. And no matter what side you're on, I'm on the side of hip-hop is the only genre of music where we put a cap limit on it. We the only one. Rock and roll, the country, Jamaican, reggae or whatever, I'm not saying Jamaican, but reggae, Latino and whatever, the Coco Cabana and all that shit, right? We don't be like, nah, you too old to do the Coco Cabana. You too old to do the rain dance. You too old to be doing this. Hip hop is the only one that do it. And that's why you hear Jaden there like, yeah, it's too late. We already put the cap on it. So, but he might have a hit. Anyway, back to the entertaining part. It ain't no age. So Erykah Badu, she want to get on stage and do her little show, her little spiel at 60. And part of that is taking off her shirt or, her pants. We may look at her like, it's a little low class, but in the entertainment factor, she's just doing her job. So in that sense, Lotto, you doing your job. Is it sending a bad message and Is it ratchetness? Is it all we could do is shake our funky asses as black women and shit? Yeah, it does kind of go towards that narrative, because the other side of the story is Cardi B, who was also an entertainer, to make her show more entertaining for the people that came there to pay top dollar. It's like, it would be a good idea. In the midst of my motherfucking show and me shaking my ass cheeks, we'll have pregnant women come out that love me and do a twerk dance, and then we'll get them $500. So you got these women on stages who are not entertainers. That's what we're talking about now. You're not an entertainer. So you up there shaking your funky ass, embarrassing yourself, for the world to see. And this is why I say that. In Islam, and just in general, obviously we have more shame, we have more awareness of modesty, being pious, right? And not even on some, man, don't you realize in order to make this thing work, we got to get rid of the pimps, the pushers, and the prostitutes, and then start all over again clean. Nigga, is you crazy? Not that extreme, right? Even though the brother was right. And that's from the movie, you know what I mean? Even though he was right, that's like, I ain't expecting people to put button-ups on. Niggas gonna be niggas and bitches gonna be bitches. That's what it is. And it's a difference between nigga fatigue and black people be like, black fatigue. No, nigga fatigue, right? So that falls in that vein. You a regular mom, your baby father probably home watching you on TV at the Cardi B shit, and you just look crazy because you're not in the right, your body is not bodying, right? You may have the glow of being pregnant and carrying life, right? But you look crazy. On the floor on your hands and knees, like hands on your knees is the sexy red shit. Hands on your knee, you look crazy, all for $500? And then the women in the comments, because the moral fabric has decreased so much, male and female, you know what I mean? Men and women. Well, I said male and female first because man means mind. Man is discipline. Man is self-restraint. Man is knowledge and then acting upon it, right? And we know a lot of people they just got the organs. They're just in the body, but you're not a woman. You're not a man. You're just a male and a female because you're not acting accordingly. But that's side note. Go read Dr. Naeem Akbar, The Vision to the Black Man, right? Excellent book. Should be in your catalog of books, right? Anyway, in that regard, what messages is sending? What are you putting out there to the public, to the people who, may look up to you, even if it's just your little nieces and your little cousins and them? Because you big auntie, you come with the big auntie energy, and really all you bring in is hoochie mama, baby mama, ratchet, bird culture. You know what I mean? She don't want to be saved, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. It's just bird culture. Obviously we know Lotto got a bigger reach, but just the regular degulars who look up to her, somebody under you is looking up under you. And what Ghostface Killer said, nigga, I studied under Bruce Lee. He was on the 4, I was on the 3. And we're going to end that topic with that. Ain't got some other shit that had a lot of niggas in their feelings on the internet. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of niggas was like, oh, what's she talking about? Ooh. Where's it at? Oh, maybe it's in the other one. Hold on. Sharing the accounts. I mean, to me, she said what she said. There you go, right ahead.
Absolutely be with a man that made less than me. I want to marry a man that made less than me, though, because that's the business component. And I'm not, you need to have what I have in the bank or more for me to marry. But
so you'll have a situationship with the person.
No, we could be, well, aren't you? Are you in a situationship?
No, I'm in a relationship.
Exactly. So why is it marriage or situationship? We could be in a committed relationship. We could be like you and Jazz and just not married.
You planked the relationship way before it ever.
Where did I plank it?
You said you could never marry a person. You could be with a person.
Yes.
Meaning like you could get in a relationship, y'all can have a good time, do a rendezvous, cool, give you a thrill, whatever. But it's going to plank because he's not financially able to do the things that you're able to do. So therefore you're not going to marry him.
No,
even if he won.
That's not the reason. This is the reason. When men sit in this seat, again, in my seat, in a seat of finances, You know, you invested in your own company. You have assets. More men they encourage that man. Don't get married. You got too much to lose. Don't get married. Date. You know, but don't get married, because if she leaves you, she can get half or whatever your assets. So I'm a woman in that seat, and I'm saying simply the same thing. I have no problem dating. Because we're talking, you asked me about money. So when you talk about money, I have to talk about business, yes, because that's what it is, right? Let me tell you something. Now, shout outs to Mary J. Blige, who is the queen of everything. She done all them songs, all them tours around the world, and Kendu got to get some of her. He ain't sang not one song on a BouT on stage with Mary J. Blige. As hard as I work, you got me crazy if you think I would marry a man and then he would be up in heaven singing background with Whitney Houston. He would be in.
You wasn't with me shooting in the gym? Huh? You wasn't with me shooting in the gym? Like, come on, fellas, she ain't saying nothing wrong. She just saying what it is, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. At the end of the day has to end. She absolutely right, in my opinion. Is she wrong about a whole lot of other stuff as far as what Kevin Samuels was saying, and rest in peace to the Godfather, YouTube and all that, the hardest working man in YouTube at one point in time. As far as her not gonna be able to get the man she want, etc., or some of the, he been accurate and pinpoint with a lot of some of these women, with Jada, with Gabrielle Union, the list goes on, Kendra G, etc., right? She took his whole format, flipped it and bounced it. Now she getting paid off a lot of these goofy, gullible women coming on her show talking about they wanted 200,000, six-pack, big dick, all this other bubblegum shit that you ain't gonna get. But that's you, and that's you. You're gonna come out in your own way. If you can get it, then live your best life. If you can't, oh well, still live your best life, right? Because it's not gonna bother me in the least. But we have to talk about it in this sense. For men, she meant metaphorically and literally, like sitting in where I'm sitting at, and the chair she's sitting in as a guest, but also in the financial realm. Like, I got the bag. Like, I got money. Like, don't trip. I kill you if you fuck on my grip. I won't hesitate to let off the clip. Oh, nigga, don't trip. Like, nigga, I got money. One for you, one for me. Two for you, one, two for me. Like, I got money. So why would I get married after stealing Kevin Samuels shit? I'm just being funny, but I'm not. Stealing his whole format, right? Taking his talking points, but just doing it strictly with women and having them call up and be delusional as fuck. Because on a few platforms that I seen her talking, she addressed the delusion that some of these women got. She's like, they ain't gonna get what they asking for. They bugged the fuck out. And basically, I'm gonna have them keep calling up my show so I can keep money to the bank. Yeah, I can keep going to the bank off these hoes. I keep getting my hair done. Keep getting my nails did. Keep getting all these clothes and, to make my aesthetics look better. Even though butt-ass naked is just some good, good complexion and some buns. You know what I mean? That's about it. She know what she doing. But she's still right. Why would I, work this hard just for somebody to come in, lay the D game down real good on me, get me out of my zone and get dickmatized and get addicted just for him to bounce and take half of my shit? And that's why she quoted Mary J. Blige and Kendall. Why would I want that for me? Same way we be telling the fellas and the brothers, you worked hard. Why get married, while you in your playing days? Do what El Capitan, Derek Jeter did. Do it after. Make sure she really with you. Get the prenup. Get other ironclad contracts and litigation done before you get married, so that if she do leave, you could give her something to parting gift that she'll be all right with. I mean, I'm good-hearted. I believe in that. Like, yo, you came, I was a millionaire. You leave, I'm still gonna be a millionaire. But depending on how long we've been together, and what did you cheat on me? Did you put me through hell? Did you try to tarnish my name? Did you try to slander my character, or like something wild? Did you get pregnant by another man? Did you fuck my brother? Like, depending on our reasons for divorcing, and even still, because I'm not a bad person, I don't believe I'm a good-hearted person. Sometimes could probably be too much. You know what I mean? When I need to be putting foot to ass and foot on neck. You know what I mean? Hands on your face. But, I still would give a considerable amount for you to live good life, to make good decisions, and you go about your way. But not half, not damn near everything. So I agree with her. And there was a lot of men in the comments real emotional, arguing with people that you don't know. Listen, man, the internet is undefeated, and that shit is just entertainment. Get out your feelings. Get out. Stay out. Focus on you. Because she getting to the bag. And she rich, financially wise. I mean, she ain't got no kids. Kevin Samuels right. As far as her man and her choices, she was allegedly dealing with the African scammer. And then on the boat on her birthday, talking about her eggs is frozen and she just want to get pregnant. There's no kids. She ain't got no legacy to leave it to. She got to leave it to her little cousins and her little nieces. She ain't getting pregnant. Freeze your eggs or not. Once that biological clock tick, 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 boom, you're done. You did it in done. You might as well just get you a condo in Queens. Dunny, you're done. Rest in peace, Prodigy. Shout outs to Mobb Deep, right? You're done. And whether a man make less or not, anyway, he gonna date and clap the cheeks for the thrill of it. The thrill is going. The Black Frank White is here to excite. I'm here for the excitement and being caught up in a little Hollywood shuffle because you got a little name for yourself, but you can't give me no kids. You older, and even though a man can be older, as long as his gun is still clicking off, the woman just got to be young, and he can have a plethora of kids. He can have 10 kids at 60, as long as his gun is going off at 50, 65. As long as the woman is willing to have the kids, then he can take care of them. And even if he don't take care of them, he still can have kids, because the biological clock is different for us. Because men and women are not the same. We're not. But yeah, she could date. That's why she took offense, like situationship. Cam, he with his baby moms. He ain't getting married because he don't want to get married. But he's with her. That's their situation. And that's why he said what he said. But as far as just the dudes in the comments, she doing what she want to do. You can't be mad at her. That's her life. La, wait till I get my money right. She doing what she want to do. Let's talk about this last topic. And then we out of there. Let me see if I can find it. No, two more topics. I got a little bit of time. First one, I found this one first.
Pramila Jayapal lays it out really well when she talks about reparations.
And we also need offensive actions around prosecutions. We need real accountability, because at the end of the day, the people that have been inflicting this harm need to be prosecuted. They need to be brought before us, and they need to be held account for the trauma that they have created, and we are going to have some form of reparation for the kids and the families that have been traumatized through all of this.
What? Small little topic. This for my little reel. Y'all know I'm live on YouTube, live on Instagram. People don't really be rocking with Positivist TV, but it's okay. We still gonna do what we do. And we still gonna bomb first. You know what I mean? We still gonna bomb first on you motherfuckers. That's a fact. But that's for my little personal, real little side note show. They love to play in your face. Democrats, Republicans, the government. They love playing in your face. This lady here is saying we need reparations for the kids and the families that's over here legally for some and some that's not. Need reparations. I don't think y'all heard that. Let me play this one more time.
Pramila
Jayapal
lays it out really well when she talks about reparations.
And we also need offensive actions around prosecutions. We need real accountability, because at the end of the day, the people that have been inflicting this harm need to be prosecuted. They need to be brought before us, and they need to be held account for the trauma that they have created, and we are going to have some form of reparation for the kids and the families that have been traumatized through all of this.
Pramila Jayapal lays it.
Put that comment back again on YouTube. We live on Instagram and we live on YouTube. And if you see me looking to the left, that's my own camera. In case shit mess up, I need my footage so I can chop it up. Anyway, I played it for the second time. Happy Monday, Juju. Hope everything is good with you. This is what they love to do. This is why I have the stance that I have. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I could give a fuck. You know what I mean? Keep it a buck. But I understand that, you know, there's the voting mechanism, system, you know, this is the democratic process. But when you hear people that are in power, in position to make change, some substantially, right? Some substantial changes, right? And they throw that in your face, or when they get in place after you vote for them, and then they turn their back, pull their pants down like Randy Moss after he scored the goal, and give you their ass to kiss, right? Not the public, but their ass to kiss. You say, damn, bro, this world is diabolical. And we need to revel in that. We need to wallow in that. We need to understand that. The basic level people, myself, other people like me, right? People in my neighborhood, people in your neighborhood, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. I have to say it like that. Michael Jackson, they about to come out with the movie Michael. What's one of his biggest songs? You see it online all the time. All I gotta say is that they don't really care about us. They don't give a fuck. Not care about, they don't give a fuck about you, me, your kids. Yeah, when they get on TV, they're gonna kiss the baby. They're gonna make it look good. They're gonna gaslight you, race bait you, tell you everything that they think you want to hear so they can get that vote. And they came here for that girl. They ain't come here for no muscle-bound jimmies. They came here for that girl. They came here to get your vote so they could do what they want. They don't even know child care, no maternal care, all the stuff that they talking about. Because they'll play in your face like that. And, you know, as far as my stance on reparations, yeah, we should get it. Absolutely, we should get it. Absolutely. FBA, we should get it. They ain't gonna give it to us, but that don't mean I can't say we should get it. But that also don't mean we should wait with our handout for the 40 acres in the mule. We have to go create our own 40 acres in the mule. And we have to get together. We have to get organized. Because Huey P. Newton said we need to get organized so that when the pig get to jiving with you, the pig get wrong, you pull your gun out, you blow him away. Shout out to Rick Ross for putting that on his album. You know what I mean? And rest in peace to those brothers that really pushed it forward for us. Those sisters that really got it out the mud for us to have progress. Put their life on the line, for real. La da 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 da. They put their life on the line. Salute to them, right? They don't want to give you nothing. So I come out and look you in your face. I'm not saying I'm going to get in reparations. I'm saying it's going to be something for everybody. That's why Barack Obama going to make sure that the QB5 train and all that, they're going to get what they get. Come on, guys. Take the blinders off. They live, or they have lived amongst us, whatever that movie is. From way back in the days when you put the glasses on, you could see the alien, you could see the people. They come on. They got you in the trick. They got us in the trick bag. And I say us because I ain't got no great power. I got a voice, I'm going to use it. But I ain't got no power to move things around and make shit better. I can speak and hope other people join forces and say, nah, I rock with you, Lee. This is what we need to be doing in our community. Woo, because they're not coming to fix anything or do anything. They're going to say, no, give those other people shit. Black folks, you get nothing. Shout out to Chaz Boswick. Thanos will have nothing but dust and blood. You are in Wakanda now. You will have nothing but dust and blood. And that's how they look at you, and they look at you straight in your face. And they say, listen, we're going to get everybody else in this room. So, you know why, as a kid, right, being poor and shit, and we was poor like a lot of people, right? You know why the people that had stuff, when they came to the crib, and this is for people that's in that right mind. Everybody didn't do this, but it was considered bad etiquette. If you got and you come, right, and you got presents, say it's Christmas, right? And Christmas missed us and birthdays was the worst days, right? Now we drink champagne when we thirsty. Christmas time, you got some of your relatives that don't got, for whatever reasons, right? Parents, decision making, you having babies by the road, whatever it is, you on welfare, other people did the other things. They came out a little better, so they got a little bit more. And you get what you put in. Let's start there. But, you know your little cousins and them is dirty little niggas. You know they ain't got nothing. You know their mama on crack and she on drugs, right? And they father in jail. So when you go over there, and everybody's opening up their choice. This is just one example. And then I'll bring it back to the politics. You don't just take your kids over there with their toys and then have them open up their toys in front of your family that don't have anything. You don't come to somebody's house, chick you fucking, right? And your kid is there, her other kid. You could, but if you got it, you know what I mean? If you, it ain't gonna hurt your pockets. I've done this plenty of times. You come over, your son there, McDonald's. We seen this skit play out. Some of it's real, some of it wasn't real. It's like, yeah, you gonna really have your 2 kids eat in front of the other 3 kids McDonald's and all that, and they ain't got no food. You could, because you're not obligated to do nothing but take care of your kid. But I'm saying up here, it's like, damn, it's kind of fucked up in the heart area. Like, damn, I got it. At one, I got it. It ain't gonna break me to get another Happy Meal. But you do it because it's like, I'm a good-hearted person, not because you have to. But it's like my kids is over there. So I'll bring that up to say, what these people do, when they do shit like this, say, nah, we need to give those people reparations. They have all the other races in the room, and black people too. Obviously, we in the room now. We've been in the room. We ain't going off this planet like Tupac said. We're not going to leave this planet, right? They'll say, no, you give them stuff. You give the Asians. You give these people. You give the last. You give this. And the poor black kids, us, sitting at Christmas, sitting waiting for McDonald's, we watching everybody eat pizza and get gifts and shit, and we sitting around like, damn, they not giving us nothing. We get nothing. You get nothing but dust and blood. Wow, y'all think that is? For the smart motherfuckers that been to college and shit. You know calculus and you know how to do all that motherfucking trigonometry. I just got a GED, and I know how to count 1, 2, 3, and after I completed ABE, I was smarter than the motherfucker. I'm being funny, but I'm not. I'm being funny, but I'm not. Right? Because some people graduate, but they still stupid. Far from stupid. I did some stupid things, but I'm not stupid. Why do you think they do that? Why do you think she feel bold enough to say, yeah, these people that was traumatized by ICE, they need reparations. They use the word reparations, not compensation. They don't need, you know what I mean, something, family being taken away from you. Oh, who did that happen to before? 400 years and shit ago? Oh, right, us. Right, it's a little over 400 years now. Crossed them Atlantic Oceans, right? You know what I mean? Come on, y'all. They playing in your face because they can. Anyway, let's just find this topic. Let's talk about this shit when it comes to accountability. And we know on the internet and in the real life, shit just don't be on the internet. The internet mirrors real life. It imitates real life. Just like flattery, imitation is the highest form of flattery. Shit that happens in real life bleeds onto the internet. Shit that's on the internet bleeds into real life, and then it becomes convoluted, and it's like a pot of gumbo. Like that Tina Knowles gumbo, the shit people stone up and puking their guts out, it becomes one big melting pot. But check this shit out, right?
Junior, do you hear me talking to you? I'm beyond agitated. Junior, do you want to lay back? What happened? Basically, he overdosed and he came home from school like this. So I'm guessing that one of his friends gave him drugs in school and he took it. And when he came home, he was disoriented. He was not able to speak, not able to say his name, not able to know where he's at, who he is. And he's just hallucinating. He's fighting me. He's fighting the doctors. His heart rate is going up and down. And basically they just saying that he's really high and that he has to get over this. But he's slobbing. Look at this. Like, he's slobbing. He's not himself.
Done.
Junior, do you know that mommy's here talking to you? Junior. So this is what I'm getting. And this happened in the school custody.
She tried to blame the school. I want to go show that part, but then I want to... Because people was saying she was capping, right? You know, and I brought up the internet and real life and bleeding for accountability purpose. That's why I started with that. And what am I talking about? Well, online, people say that accountability is women's kryptonite, right? And in real life, we see that shit to be true. And my anecdotal experience, I'm not saying all women, you know, you got to be careful what you say and shit, because people be so sensitive, right? And I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. Anyway, where's the child getting arrested at? Right here. Couple of kids is being arrested for the same situation. So she wasn't capping. Sounded like she was blaming the school. And you could blame the school, but if it's candy or if it's drugs disguised as candy, disguised as gummy Jolly Ranchers, etc. And I had edibles before. I'm sure we all, some of y'all might have tried it too, right? Got that weed, the flavorish, you know what I mean? The ones I've had, right? So you know you're taking drugs. And we know that it does something a little different to the body than smoking. I've been smoking for a long time, since I was a teenager, right? And I'm not bragging, I'm just saying this is my life, right? And I got to talk about my life, and I got to tell it in how I see it, right? My alarm reference. So it's not the school fault. If it was a gun, a razor, a knife, and metal detectors, and it's like, yeah, well, how the fuck they get this shit in here? My son got slashed, my daughter got cut in the face, my son got killed. Yeah, you raise all hell, like this is on school property. When it come in a little bag, and you can't tell what the shit is, I mean, when they come and give you some shit like this is old, because I stopped smoking weed and doing all that bubblegum shit. I don't do that no more, right? When they come say, yo, you want some Cheetos? And you open up these Cheetos, right? And it just looked like that's what the kids eat now. Lick their fingers and all, rub their teeth like they fucking using coke and shit. You know what I mean? This shit is weed Cheetos. But if I come to school and I just bust them open, I'm eating some, I give you some, you dust the whole bag off, and then you get in that stupor, whose fault is it? Is it the school fault? Is it your fault? Is it the kid's fault for giving it to them? The pie is a little bit of everybody. First, it's your fault as a parent. We always have to go back to the parent. Sorry, guys, if you're a parent, I'm a parent as well. Raised 2 boys, 2 outstanding young men, right? And I'm proud of y'all, and I love y'all, right? Gotta start with the parents first. Where else is it gonna fucking start at? Oh, you're not doing your school. I sent you to school to learn and do all that. All right, well, you're not doing no homeschool. You don't do no homework. You don't talk about behavior. You don't talk about grades and what behavior and etiquette is acceptable and not acceptable. You just send your kids to school. They go to school. They learn or they don't. No, that's a bad parent. Let's call it what it is. And let's call a spade a spade. That's bad parenting. So first, you have to start with the parent. Depending on what age your child is, depending on the maturity level of your child. You need to be talking about drugs, sex, gangs, how to move certain situations. Again, you don't teach a 6-year-old. I mean, you could teach the 6-year-old. These are my private parts. The teacher that went viral. I can't think of the song, but it definitely was private part. No one should touch my private parts. Private parts, private parts. If someone touch my private parts, I will tell my parents. I think that's how it went, right? And I applaud the teacher for that. Coming up with inventive, creative ways to get the message out to our younger kids, right? To the young soon-to-be adults, to the young people. And I work with kids almost every single day. So it's not just something I'm making up, right? That's your job as a parent. Talk about sex, unprotected sex, STDs, gun violence, violence in general, jail, breaking the law, committing crime, depending on the age. That's your job first. Why am I mentioning this? So if you haven't talked about drugs, it's not just smoking weed no more. I mean, it's not just drinking a little alcohol. It's not just, we seen a video of the girls in the bathroom drinking nips and shit. No, it wasn't nips, it was fucking Don Julio out the bottom, right before school. These high schoolers though. Or maybe they was junior high school. One of the two. You have to include edibles, vapes. You have to talk to them. And if you can't do it because you're unable to do it, then you raise your hand. Like Jada said, y'all got embarrassed in the class when the teacher used to make y'all read, mind over matter. Then you raise your hand and you say, I'm a parent, but there's certain areas and expertise I don't have. I'm not an aficionado in drugs. I never was a drug user. I never did drugs. And I don't know how to have that conversation with my daughter, with my son about drugs. Granted, I think he's 9 years old or whatever. Is 9 years old too young to talk about drugs? This video says no. If you saying, yeah, it's Khalid, that's kind of early. That phone in his hand could get porn, can it? It could get certain shit on the internet, can it? Right. So you have to be the gatekeeper of your kids. That's number one. Because if you would have talked to him, not to say he still wouldn't have been greedy as greedy as one, you don't accept things from just anybody. This could be your friends, but you have to inspect. That's why on Halloween, when they give your kids, my mother used to always say, people put raisins in apples. I used to, as a kid, you know, your mind doesn't think of diabolicalness. You don't think of, what's the word I'm looking for? Just foulness. You know what I mean? So, still can't think of the word right. It's on the tip of the tongue, but, you know, evilness. You know what I mean? You don't think of some, why would somebody want to put a razor inside of an apple and give it to a kid? Why would you want to do that? Besides being an evil, fucked up person, right? So as a kid, as your mother's looking through all of the candy and shit, you know, she's inspecting, throwing shit away, and you sitting there patiently waiting to see what you're gonna get. That's why you have to talk to your kids, because it is foul motherfuckers out here. Some is your friends. You can see that all day online. Your friends don't post your videos. Your family don't rock with your videos, but the strangers do. But you're not supposed to take stuff from strangers. So that conversations need to be had. Then again, the school now, all right, nothing as far as the metal detector, but when y'all letting snacks and certain things in, and I know you want to get the kids in, you want to get them in the classroom. I've been to plenty of schools, right? So my 2 boys is doing well. And when you fuck up, I'm showing up. Parent teach me, I'm chaperoning, going on trips. I'm sitting in the back of the class. Yeah, I've done this plenty of times. Oh, you want to act up? Oh, okay. I'm not going to beat you in class like I seen, you know, some of my peers, and even I got my ass whipped in front of the class. You get embarrassed, right? And make you be embarrassed. Snot coming out your nose, all that. That's an embarrassing sight. But I'll sit in the back of the class, sit there and see how you do all day, nigga. Let me see for these 8 hours. I'm going to be right there with teachers. If I go, come on in, please. And other kids is looking at you as the parent, looking at your son, and you sit right in that class like, yeah, let me see what you're doing when I'm not here. Do exactly what you do. And then I have to say, nah, turn around. And I still got to say some shit, right? So you know when you're not around, your kids is going to do the most. But the school, they don't want to have to empty your book bag. Let me see if you got candy. Is this shit weed in it? Is this shit got, you know what I mean, like THC in it and all that? Yeah, we can go through the whole meal on that. But now class ain't start until 10 o'clock. We got to go through the book bag. That shit is crazy. Got to make sure you ain't got no guns, no knives, no fentanyl, no ecstasy, no crack, no coke, no weed, no edibles. Like, damn, your kid ain't going to get no education if we got to do all that. That's why you are the first line of defense. You have to do that for your own child. Otherwise, they'll come home and be in a coma because they done ate a whole bag of Jolly Ranchers with mad bud in it. And now their body can't even act. Now, he's getting better in that video. He's getting better. And I ain't want to go off on that long time.
Several students have been arrested for distributing 2,000 milligrams gummy to a 9-year-old boy. A video filmed by a mother at her son's hospital bedside quickly went viral, showing him suffering severe poisoning symptoms after eating the 2,000 milligrams gummy given to him by a classmate. He was rushed to the hospital and diagnosed with marijuana exposure. The gummy the boy ate were likely high-concentration products. After the truth came out, police intervened and discovered that the students may have obtained high-dose gummy off campus and shared or distributed them on campus. Local police have taken action against several students involved, and at least 2 to 3 minors have been arrested for allegedly distributing controlled substances to minors. One of the main students involved reportedly admitted to bringing the THC gummy from home to share. Police are further investigating the upstream source of the products to see if they involve illegal adult channels. Junior, after several days of observation and treatment, has gradually regained consciousness and speech abilities and has been discharged from the hospital to continue recuperating at home. Several students have been arrested.
Talk to your kids, folks. Talk to your kids about drugs, about the neighborhood, certain situations. Bring up scenarios. And if you don't know, contact somebody that do. Obviously, there ain't no handbook to being a parent. You know what I mean? We learning on the fly. Some of us are better than others. Some of us, you know, we know how to maneuver a little better than others. But the flip side or the downside, no matter how good of a parent you are in your house, and what you won't allow, somebody else will allow. And we all let our kids go out the same front doors into the world. They get on the bus together. They go to school together. They stop at McDonald's together, Popeyes. They congregate together. So if your influence and your, you know, stuff that you instill in your kids is not strong, then the outside influence and forces will be stronger than yours. and then you'll have to cope with that. We out here Monday Night Motivation, Motivational Monday. I am your motivational speaker, whether you like it or not. That's our Monday show. Tomorrow, what we got? Tomorrow we got playing game. The NBA is over. We did finish with a winning record. I'll talk more about it tomorrow. I was going to make it a topic tonight. But I talk NBA every day. Tomorrow's the playing game. We're now waiting to get these last slots filled in. Then we'll talk playoffs. Don't talk to me about playoffs. I just hope that we can win a game and then another game. But y'all know what it is. It's your guy, Popovich. Y'all was just tuned in. Popovich TV. Of course, we are live. We rolling. We unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up in here. One more again. Be safe out there, y'all. Yeah, kid.